On your desk sits a small plastic box. It doesn't move. It doesn't glow. It makes no sound. Yet every second, it is burning energy. Around 10 to 15% of the electricity it consumes goes nowhere, converted purely into heat, dissipating silently into the air. Now multiply that number by 2 billion computers, tens of billions of phones, cameras, routers, and trillions of chargers permanently plugged into wall sockets across the globe. Added together, this lost energy equals the output of hundreds of power plants. A silent crisis absent from environmental reports. Missing from climate policies yet present on every desk. In every home. We call it the heat tax, the price paid for convenience. For a world where everything is always ready to turn on. And the most unsettling part is that most people have no idea they are paying this tax every hour. Every minute with the planet itself. From here, the story of the black box, the seemingly trivial power adapter, becomes a symbol of the central energy paradox of the 21st century. We have never had so much electricity, and yet we have never wasted so much of it. Every charger is a miniature power plant, converting energy from one form to another. But no conversion is perfect. According to the second law of thermodynamics, every energy transformation generates entropy disorder, which we experience as heat. Modern chargers typically operate at efficiencies of around 85 to 90%. That means for every 100 watts drawn from the grid, only 85 watts actually reach the device. The rest is taxed away as heat. In a small room, that heat dissipates unnoticed. At planetary scale, it becomes a vast amount of electricity burned for nothing. Economically, this is a tax without an invoice. Consumers pay for electricity they never truly use. Ecologically, it adds thermal load to urban environments, increasing demand for air conditioning, which in turn consumes even more electricity. A perfectly closed loop of waste. Yet the deeper paradox is this: we cannot completely eliminate the heat tax. That heat is the physical trace of maintaining order, of keeping computers running, circuits stable, and information flowing. To eliminate heat entirely would be to eliminate digital life itself. Inside the black box lies a miniature map of globalization. Copper mined in Chile, tin from Indonesia, crystalline silicon from Taiwan, high-grade capacitors from Japan, insulating wires from China. A cheap charger may be the product of 15 countries participating in a single value chain. Remove just one small component, such as an optoscillator that electrically separates circuits operating at different voltages, and millions of devices can grind to a halt. During the COVID-19 pandemic, semiconductor supply chains were disrupted, bringing the production of laptops, electric vehicles, and even medical ventilators to a standstill, simply because chargers lacked critical components. This dependency turns energy into a geopolitical asset. A nation may possess no oil reserves, but if it controls the supply chain of power electronics, it holds the energy valve of the digital world. The irony is this: the smaller the charger, the more complex the supply chain behind it becomes. A wall plug that looks trivial is the result of hundreds of thousands of kilometers of transportation, billions of transistors, and millions of microeconomic decisions, all to convert 220 volts into 5. We resent chargers not because they are ugly, but because they bind us. A cable, a socket, a limit. In behavioral psychology, the feeling of dependence on an energy source triggers one of humanity's oldest fears: loss of control. A dead phone battery is not merely a technical failure, it is an identity crisis. We cannot work, communicate, or navigate. It feels like exile from digital society. The charger becomes a symbol of limitation. Proof that technology is still not as free as it promises to be. Technology companies exploit this emotion relentlessly. Fast charging, long battery life, wireless power. These are all attempts to erase the symbol of dependence. But the more invisible energy becomes, the further humans drift from their relationship with physical reality. In its deepest sense, the charger is a reminder that everything digital is paid for with material energy. Every time you plug in, you are not just charging a device, you are signing a renewed contract between humanity and physics. No electricity, no data, no cloud. That inconvenience is the last tangible trace of reality in an increasingly virtual world. When you discard an old laptop, the charger usually goes with it. Over the past 2 decades, humanity has generated more than 50 million tons of electronic waste each year, much of it cables, adapters, and batteries. Each charger contains dozens of toxic compounds: lead, mercury, cadmium, brominated chemicals. These substances do not decompose. They slowly leach into soil, water, and air. The European Union has attempted to respond with common charger regulations, forcing manufacturers to adopt USB-C to reduce waste. But this is only the surface. In reality, consumption cycles still produce millions of new chargers every month. A sustainable future demands something far more difficult: restructuring personal energy infrastructure. Not fewer chargers, but an intelligent energy ecosystem where power is distributed on demand. Wireless charging draws from renewable solar sources, and materials are biodegradable. Only then will the black box cease to be a warm object on a desk and become an invisible node in a global energy network where energy and information finally merge into one.